And now talking about, let's talk about Alzheimer's just a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
because that is anybody who goes through it and the people who care for those patients. I have a big heart for them because it is not easy. And there's a lot of research in the early 80s that started where they found by um, autopsy
Mm-hmm.
of these people, they found that there is a thing that they called myelin plaque in the brain. Now there's studies coming out, very recent, where they found that there are people, almost everybody has myelin plaque, but there's people with the same amount of myelin plaque with no cognitive decline. And there's a lot of focus now being that there might be an energy metabolism imbalance in the brain that's causing that cognitive decline. And one of the big things, that's why they call it diabetes type 3, is vast insulin resistance in the brain tissue. That is one of the biggest determining factors of cognitive decline. When there's an insulin resistance in the brain, they might not even find it. Your A1C might still be fine. But many times, as we have spoken in the past, your eye, for one, is very sensitive to insulin resistance, as is your brain. Sometimes, not even sometimes, I want to say always, that low level insulin resistance that you might have, the rest of your body might not experience it, but you might experience it in the form of a depression, in form of you can't remember that well anymore, and hyperactivity, you can't focus. And many times, if you prove that energy metabolism in the brain
Mm-hmm.
by feeding it a little bit more ketones than glucose, it actually has a vast improvement, really a day and night improvement. Not that we're saying that all these conditions are related to energy metabolism, but if you want to prevent that from ever happening to you, you might really want to consider what you're feeding your brain.
And in with what you were saying is that, well, there is the small capillaries, like we're saying, especially with the eyes. For a very, very long time, when people had any of these deposits in the eyes and the small capillaries, it was believed and thought that it was irreversible. And they've actually found the opposite now, that there are patients that if these deposits were done due to the high insulin resistance, or like you say, a low grade insulin resistance, it's not picked up anywhere else but it's picked up in the eyes, that has been reversed when they do start changing what they eat and lowering the amount of insulin being reduced. So that's fantastic. It's also the same with the neuropathies, the diabetic neuropathies, which was previously doomed as an absolute death sentence, has now been shown that new blood flow, new blood vessels, new development there, some of those would die down and there would be tissue that would be regained. So it's positive, it's uplifting. And knowing that the body can restore that is what really makes it hopeful.